Thank you for making Saints Central your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that? Who that? Who that say they gonna beat them Saints? Who that?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. 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 Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on Tampa, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Probably like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Nobody had an opportunity. It was way away from them. And there it is. That's the game, man. That's the game. Game over with. Saints lose 27-19 in the building. They lose, and that's what it is. So anyway, let's go to the – wow, man. Oh, goodness gracious, dude. My goodness. Lord help us, man. Disgusting, man. Disgusting game, bro. This was awful, bro. It was terrible, man. All right. Shout out to you, Brent. Yeah, he said Taysom had 7+ touches today, and he says, yeah, for 18-1, Taysom had 7+ touches today, really, in rocket science. Yeah, what happened to Taysom in the back end, man? We kind of got one-dimensional and over-relied on Jameis to a fault. Like, why didn't we mix in the run on the play? Why didn't we mix in the run on the play? You know what I mean? Why was the run mixed in? I don't get that. Why did we go one-dimensional so much and then we had time. We could have mixed in the run a little bit and not just over-relied on Jameis Winston to throw as much as he did. You know what I mean, family? Why did we do that? But anyway, y'all hold tight, man. Stay where y'all are. As soon as I'm going to go to the Dennis Allen press conference. We're going to hear from them momentarily. We'll go live to them right away as soon as we can. Let's go to the team statistics. This was a disgusting game, man, how the Saints played this, man. This was Derek Carr. They spent too much time with the dead Derek Carr. He gets knocked out of the game. And then just irresponsible quarterbacking. Imbalanced play calling in the second half. The defense turned it on. We just couldn't. We were too far back, man, and way too far back to make a move, man. And unfortunately, it ended the way it did, man. It was that sucked. All right, 23-16 with the first downs. You're looking at third down efficiency. Saints 4 of 14, Vikings 6 of 15. The Saints were 2 for 2 on fourth down. 68 total plays to 61 advantage the Vikings. They had 387 yards to 280. Drops 13 of 12. Yards per play 4.6 versus 5.7. 263 passing yards versus 215. And we had two quarterbacks and one quarterback on the other side beat two quarterbacks throwing the ball. You look at the running attack, the 124 yards rushing by the Vikings is they get 5 straight games. 5 straight wins with the Vikings simply because the Saints, and a lot of this was self-inflicted. They didn't take nothing away from the Vikings because they played and they did a wonderful thing. They improved to 6-4. The Saints fall back to 5-5 on the team they should have really beat. But this is Dennis Allen. This is Dennis Allen-led team. So what you will get is you'll get an up and down team. We say this from week to week. They should have beat the team. They should have beat Tampa Bay. They should have beat Green Bay. They don't. They lose to teams they don't supposed to lose to because this is a Dennis Allen-led team. His aura, his inconsistency, his dumbness is all over this team. That's why they look confused at times. That's why they don't put together a full 60 minutes of action. It's always some disjointed crap on the offense. It's totally unprofessional, and it's just stupid. And the guy refuses to make changes. They win a couple of games, and we're supposed to improve on things that work. We don't use it. We don't utilize it. We don't play it from week to week. And it's a doing Dennis Allen teams. These are what you're going to get. And I explained to myself, they play so there's no reason why the Saints have as much talent as they have. And the team consistently underperforms offensively, playing half of games, the entire first half of the game. The Saints couldn't even put a touchdown together. Had they scored a touchdown in the first half of the game, that would have changed things a bit. They sticking with this Carr dude, and he doesn't have the full effect of what's going on. And it's just distasteful. It's just distasteful, man, watching it. 124 yards the Vikings put up on the Saints. Now, granted, this team averages like 80-something yards rushing a game. They're not a very good rushing attack, but they put up 124 rushing yards on the Saints today. Saints had 65 yards rushing on 15 attempts, but threw the ball 43 times because they got behind, because they're dumb. They ill-prepared and undisciplined. I'm sorry. 2-2 in the red zone. They finally got into the red zone in the second half of the game. 2-3 in the red zone is the Vikings. We'll go to the press conference momentarily. Y'all stick to me. I'm gonna just switch screens in the second once Dennis Allen or anybody else pops up there. I promise y'all, hang out with me. Stay with me. Red zone, Saints 2 of 3 the Vikings 2 of 3 in the red zone. Saints had 9 penalties for 74 yards. A lot of that was their own doing. Lined up in the neutral zone when you're not supposed to, Rashid Shaheed. False starts and holdings and dumb stuff like that. It's not going to help you. Saints also had 2 turnovers with the interceptions they couldn't work themselves around. And it was just all kind of ways, just ridiculous. The defense did turn on in the second half, but I wish they would have did something sooner and earlier. And that's just unfortunate that the offense did not step up and play like they were supposed to in the first half under Derek Carr. And Dennis Allen, people keep asking for him to make changes, and he lies and says he's going to make changes and doesn't make changes. This team is a Dennis Allen-led team, and this is what you're going to get, a team that'll middle around 500, and you'll come out and say that the division is bad and we're still in this thing. That's what he's going to give you, because that's what losers are supposed to say and think. When you lose a game to a team you're supposed to beat with a quarterback who was a third stringer last week, and all of a sudden he running around on you, this dude beat you worse than what he did the Falcons last week. Josh Dobbs finished with 268 yards. 2 Saints quarterbacks couldn't equal that. Jameis finished 13 of 24 of 25 for 122, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks, a 59.1 rating, just throwing the ball in the bad coverage. Derek Carr, 13 of 8. He stunk. 110 is what he did. He was sacked twice, 87.1. 2 quarterbacks couldn't equal up to Josh Dobbs. 23 of 34 for 268, 8 yards per throw, and he was 101.1 on the rate. And this is Josh Dobbs. Dude don't even fully know their offense. Kamara, top back, 9 carries, 42 yards. He had 5 yards a rush, and the Saints couldn't use him as often. I wish in the second half when he made the game 1 score there, maybe 2 scores there, they could have mixed Alvin Kamara into it on draw plays and do some of that. They just went all passing in the set. Like, what is all this? Why would we go all passing, don't even try to mix in a draw play or 2 in there? Why would we do that? Just stupid. Alvin Kamara averaged almost 5 yards a rush today. Derek Carr had 1 scramble for 10 yards. He almost fumbled the ball, but outside of that, 65 yards rushing off of 15 carries, and the Saints threw it 43 times. When you throw it 43 times in the game, if you're the Saints, you're going to lose the game. You're going to lose. Josh Dobbs also was tied for the top rusher for his squad. He had 8 scrambles for 44 yards, had a touchdown, and Ty Chandler was the second guy with 15 carries for 44 yards. Josh Dobbs averaged 5.5 yards rushing, running and scrambling around for this team. It's utterly ridiculous. And Chris Olave, 6 catches off of 9 targets for 94 yards, 16 yards per catch with a touchdown. A.T. Perry had 2 catches for 38 yards and a touchdown. He had one that was poked out of his hands. You got to grab and catch. Elvin had 7 catches for 33 yards. Rashid Shaheed, 5 catches for 24 yards. Taysom only 2 catches for 17 yards. And Taysom had 1 carry. Shout out to you, Brent, for that as well, for mentioning Taysom had 1 carry for 6 yards today. 1 carry and 2 catches for 17 yards. Was Taysom hurt? Did I miss something, y'all? Y'all let me know in the chat. Was Taysom Hill hurt? Did he leave the game? We had a lot of people that left the game. I know Michael Thomas left the game. He had a knee issue. Did any of the rest of these people lose the game that I wasn't aware of because a lot was going on? Did Taysom Hill leave the game because he was banged up? Why wasn't Taysom Hill utilized more in this game would be a question that they ask these people. Why wouldn't he utilize more in this contest? I don't get what was going on there. Anyway, then, of course, we take a look at the rest of it. T.J. Hawkinson killed the Saints today. 15 targets, 11 catches, 134 yards, 12.2 yards per catch in the touchdown. The man killed them. He had 10 catches for 140 yards at halftime. So the Saints defense did do a much better job in the second half of neutralizing the Minnesota Vikings offense. They couldn't do anything. They stopped them, but the offense couldn't do anything. The power went off upstairs where the Saints offenses operate. So we only have enough power to operate in one field of the house and not in all of the house. Obviously, Demario Davis, the top tackler, him and Paulson Adebo tied for the lead with 9 tackles total apiece. Demario did get a sack, 1 sack the Saints got in the entire game. Pressure was increased in the second half of the game. Didn't work. Josh Metellus and Jordan Hicks was the top tacklers for their team. DJ Wanham and Bullard, as well as Daniil Hunter, had 3 sacks on them. One of them knocked Derek Carr out of the game. So Rashid Shaheed and all these guys, and what it is. So the Saints defense did stop the Minnesota offense in the second half, and the Saints offense couldn't get going enough to be able to catch up from not doing anything in the first half of the game. Did you get that? All right, so anyway, that's what it is. That's how it looks like. That's how it stinks. And it's just distasteful, man. This is distasteful, and you're going to hear them come out and say the same thing. Brother Prime said JW got us back in it. Sit down, haters. He got us.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Brother Prime, credit, thank you for the super chat, but I got to keep it real on that, bro. Jameis did get the Saints in position to make a strike, but when it came time for him to push him over the hill, he hurt him. So it's like pushing you up to the lake, like 5 or 10 feet from where you want to drink. Like if like you taking somebody, you're you leading the horse to water. You lead the horse right up 10 feet from the water and then stop right there. You take it the rest of the way. That's what Jameis did. He didn't take him to the promised land. He got him back into the game, but didn't get the game. So he made it interesting. What he did was he got us more emotionally involved in the game, because if it wasn't for Jameis' contribution, we would have checked out of this thing a full quarter prior to this. We would have checked out. This would have been what it was. So now you credit Jameis for making it competitive and getting them emotionally into the game, but I can't credit him because he did not win the game. He hurt us in the game by throwing the first interception. It should have been a roughing the passer because the guy leaped into Jameis and knocked him down, and Fox refused to show the replay of what the guy did to Jameis. They refused to go to the replay. What they did was they played the replay of the interception from Jameis 3 different times from 3 different angles, but refused to show the defender running and jumping into Jameis. That should have been called for a pass and should have been a roughing the passer play. That was totally omitted and missed, and Fox aided it by trying to hide that from us. I was like, why are they doing that? Because usually you would show the guy getting hit, which then would show why the interception went with what it was. But they tried to lead you to believe that Jameis threw the ball out there. I see what the Dirty Dogs did. They refused to pan back because the reason why the guy shot through there and hit Jameis, leaped into him, and it should have been a personal foul on that defender for hitting Jameis. That's why that first interception went the way it did, but they refused to show the replay on that. Them dogs showed 3 different angles of the interception catch being made by the defender, but refused to show the hit that led to it. How do you do that? You never see that anywhere else where they usually show you what created the play. They only showed the result and showed it 3 different ways. And I was like, why are they refusing to show the guy personal foul on him that the referees refused to call? Anyway, second interception with Jameis Winston was Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston threw into triple coverage 4 to 5 yards beyond where the wide receiver was at. The man didn't even have an opportunity to make a play on the ball. He just threw and heaved it into triple coverage. That was totally irresponsible and disgusting. And I like Jameis, but I got to call it like I see it, bro. That was awful. He did that. That was terrible. I was totally, when he did that, that disgusted me, man. Because he should have known. There are other people out there. They had a wide receiver that was breaking out to the right side, going toward the right sideline that was wide open. And he totally threw in the triple coverage. That's totally disgusting and irresponsible. He should have seen the play better than that. ESWS Doc says defense got to stop spotting teams 2 quarters. That's indeed, you got a point on that, bro. But the offense also has to get points, get touchdowns in the first half too. Thank you for that, bro.
I want to say thank you very much. Picking me up and bringing me back to this world.
Yeah, I'm upset by the second interception throw by Jameis Winston because you only allowed a certain amount of time to do this. Now you had the momentum where you can be able to get back into the game. And credit Jameis did something that Derek Carr could not do. He put touchdowns on the board. He put touchdowns on the board to make it a game, but did not get the game. It's a difference. Like you get us into it, but you got to take us over and get the victory. And we couldn't do that. So, I mean, but he did more. I got to give Jameis credit for that much and give him more credit than I give the Derek Carr, who couldn't even get you into the red zone today. He couldn't even get you down there. So Big Boo says, you would think that the NFL's rigged the way just Jameis threw that last interception. Jameis Winston that's what made that disgusted me, Big Boo. That disgusted me when he just reared back and just threw that ball like it was almost a Hail Mary throw. He just heaved it in the triple coverage. And that was disgusting because I was like, dude, what are you doing? That was like a throw that you would make for a Hail Mary at the end of a game. We had time. We had timeouts. We had, the momentum on our side. For you to irresponsibly do that disgusted me, man. That was just awful that they did that. Thank you, bro, for your super chat, man.
Thank you. Far too kind.
Y'all stick with me, man. We still got a lot of stuff to talk about here. They haven't got Dennis Allen up on the podium. I'm monitoring it from a separate screen right now. And as soon as they go to Dennis Allen, we're going to go to it and hear whatever excuses that he got to say. Judah, thank you, man. He says you can't blame J Boo. He had to play hero ball. There's no blame on J Boo. A lot of people in the chat, I know you're not aiming that at me, but there's a lot of people blaming Jameis Winston. But no, I got to call a spade a spade. Just like I hammer out Carr when he do stupid stuff. Jameis Winston heaved that ball in there. And no, we ain't need him to do hero ball right there, Judah. We didn't need him to play hero ball right there. We had time. We had an opportunity. There was time. We didn't have to go for a heave and triple coverage. They had better options out there. There were better options out there, and Jameis can't do that. Jameis can't get into that gunslinger hero ball mentality. He got to play team ball because there's plenty of weapons out there to go to. There were way better options than to throw the ball. What I'm saying is there were way better options to throw the ball into a triple coverage situation where you threw the ball 3 yards ahead of your closest wide receiver. That's not hero ball, bro. That's villain ball, dog. That's not even hero ball because that was irresponsible. Now, and that's not just for Jameis. I would say that about any and everybody. Here go this old stink fest over here.
I've got to find a way to get this team to be more consistent. So that's on me. I'll have to do a better job. So I'll take your questions.
What's been the biggest issue with the slow starts early on outside the ball?
Well, yeah, I mean, look, I think the bigger thing really has been, our inability on first and second down to do a better job of getting them into third and longer situations. We're allowing too many first and second down conversions, not forcing enough, third downs early on in games. So struggled again with the quarterback today. We had some opportunities to get him on the ground. We didn't cash in on those opportunities. We had some guys that were, spying him and he made some plays. So, but yeah, we look, we got to do a better job. Offensively, I thought we ran the ball early in the game pretty effectively. And then all of a sudden you're chasing points. It becomes a little bit more difficult to do. So I think just as a team, we've got to do a better job of, being more competitive in first halves of games. Our guys, fought their tails off to give themselves a chance, but can't keep digging yourself into these holes and think you're going to be able to come back all the time.
That's you will say anything about what happened with Derek?
He was evaluated for a concussion. I can't really talk about it or elaborate on it. It's yeah, we'll look at it. But he was out of the game because he was evaluated for a concussion. So
has he been able to do any testing on the shoulder because of the concussion, or is that?
Listen, I don't know all the answers to that. I think we'll see where he's at tomorrow.
Yeah, why do you think you guys respond so well? You get behind and that things kind of start flowing a little bit on both sides. Why do you think it's
Yeah, I don't really know what the answer is to that. I'm just being honest with you. I don't know what the answer is to that. I'd like to think that we could, start a little faster, get the momentum going a little bit quicker. I do know our guys are, never feel like they're out of it. I do know that they're going to continue to fight and battle. But like I said, we can't keep digging ourselves into these holes, especially against a good football team. So.
And then what did Jameis bring to the offense?
Look, I thought Jameis did some good things in the game. Got a couple of explosive plays. We were able to score a couple of touchdowns, a couple of two-point conversions. I thought there was some good things that he did in terms of in the passing game. It's obviously a tough situation to come into, when you're down that many points and the team really kind of knows that you're going to have to throw the ball. So I thought under all those circumstances, I thought he did a good job. I thought Chris and AT made some nice plays for him. There were probably a couple of opportunities that I thought that we might could have cashed in on, but I thought overall I was pleased with what he was able to do under those circumstances. Well, we'll see where Derek's at. I mean, I don't think we're. Well, I know we're not in a competition there. I thought Jameis did some good things, but Derek Carr's our starting quarterback.
He might get hurt on that first hit.
Yes, yeah. He's got a knee injury.
What did TJ Hawkinson do, especially in the first half, that kind of gave you trouble?
Well, look, he's an exceptional route runner, and so he ran some good routes and got open. We struggled to be able to cover him today. I'll go back and look at the tape and see if there's some things that maybe we could have done differently, but he obviously was a major factor in the game. Yeah, it impacted some things that we were wanting to do. I thought A.T. Perry came in and performed well, but I think anytime you lose a guy of Mike's magnitude, it affects what you're doing.
Dennis, I know you talked about the slow starts defensively, but do you feel like overall the unit has progressed this season?
Not as good, not progressed or regressed. Yeah, I don't think we're playing as well as we're capable of playing. So, yeah, I don't think we're playing as good as we're capable of playing. I think we need to play better.
As for Hawkinson doing a lot of zone beater stuff, or you guys have man on?
No, I think he beat us in zone. He beat us in man. He beat us on a few things.
Is there anything you can say about? Sorry, I know we're going down a list of injuries. Is there anything you can say about Lattimore and what happened?
He's got an ankle. So Mike Thomas, any issues really coming out of the game, really is Mike, with the knee and Lattimore with the ankle. And then obviously, Carr, is in the concussion protocol. Well, look, the focus for the players is to get away, get their minds off of football for just a little bit, kind of reset again, get their bodies healthy. So there's a lot of rehab that's going to be going on, over this next week. Try to get guys healthy and get back. And then us as coaches, we got to look at how we can put some better plans together to give our guys more opportunities to be successful.
Do you feel like now's a good time?
Yeah, look, I mean, you play a game like this, you kind of want to reset a little bit. But, I mean, I don't know if it comes at a good time or not. We'll evaluate, kind of this tape and see what we can do better. And then we gotta get ready for Atlanta.
Dennis, can you live with the interceptions at the end of Jameis just because of the situation y'all are in, or do you want not to make those types of decisions?
Look, without seeing the whole thing, I'll probably reserve judgment on that. Again, when you're in those situations and you're kind of in a little bit of desperation mode, sometimes those things happen. So.
They've shown a lot of success with the case in the last few weeks, but only had one rush today. Was part of that a product of getting down so quickly? Yeah. I think when you get down like that so early in the game, it really limits a lot of things that you want to try to be able to accomplish in a game. And so, we got to be better defensively of keeping the score down, in the game, in the early part of the game, so we can have what we have as our game plan going in offensively. You kind of get out of it, probably by the early part of the second quarter, just because you're now chasing points.
The sort of boost in production in the second half of the offensive side, did that come down more to execution, or did you all find something a different way to attack it?
I think probably just a little bit of both. We had a couple of thoughts coming out of halftime of things that we liked, and I thought our guys executed those things a little bit better, and some of the tempo stuff again was pretty good for us.
And would you say similarly, like kind of both those things on the defensive side as well, there's like scoring them down?
Yeah, I think that was a lot more about getting our eyes in the right spot and our execution more so than it was a kind of a change in philosophy or calls or whatever.
Do you have any comment about what happened with Mike on Friday night?
No. All right, guys, thanks.
My goodness, man. It's just more the same with this guy, man. It's not having any answers, but I'm not mad, and I've been saying this for a while, man. Shout out to the fam, man. Appreciate y'all being in this one, man. This is a tough one here. This was a tough one, man. He's not a head coach, family. The man is not a head coach. He shouldn't have this job. It was a really good statement somebody just made, a comment in the comment section, which was, it could be possibly the comment of the stream. And that's this one. Shout out to Saints Production. We are turning into the New Orleans Raiders. That is something else right there to even much think about. And I doubt anybody else. We probably try to get Jameis Winston to pop up there. It's hard to get Saints when they lose. Dennis Allen got to get up there. But the rest of them, boy, they're going to have trouble. So if anybody else pop up, man, I'm monitoring on my other screen, and I'll pop it up there. But turning into the the New Orleans Raiders, man, I'm not mad at Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen is not anybody's head coach. The only reason why he got this job is because Mickey Loomis hired him because Sean Payton told him to. Now, he'll deny that. He'll say that Mickey will say that Sean told him, yeah, Dennis Allen should be the apparent or the person behind me that leads it. And we thinking like, surely if you said that the Saints was set up for a competent coach to come in and pick up and just keep winning. The talent was in-house. They had all the talent they can ever need, the resources, everything was here. But if you got a guy that don't have the head coach mentality or even a leader mentality or a person that believes in accountability or implements discipline, he would squander these resources. What I'm saying is the team is 5-5. At the 10 weeks into the season, the team's 5-5. That is so Dennis Allen. That is so Dennis Allen. Anything else than that, less than that, or anyway, if you thinking that 6-4 going, that's this team is so Dennis Allen. It really is. The fact that 10 weeks into the NFL season, the Saints offense is still having problems putting up touchdowns on that Derek Carr. Derek Carr was in the game for the majority of the time, and Derek Carr couldn't even guide the Saints offense to a touchdown at all at one point in this game before they knocked his ass out of the game. Jameis comes in, automatically gets 2 touchdowns and makes it a game, totally outperformed Carr. But Dennis Allen said, there is no QB controversy. Derek's our guy. Tell me you were surprised by that. Please tell me you wasn't. That Dennis Allen saying that is no controversy is not breaking news. Excuse me, Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is absolutely over his head. He's a guy that don't even realize the enormity of what's going on right now. I mean, seriously, it's like he would be the guy on the beach that would sit there with a beach chair, like one of them long ass beach chairs, them rubber ones that you sit on when you go to the beach, and you have an umbrella, you stick it in the sand behind the chair, and you got a drink. And as he's looking at the water leave the beach and go out into the sea, and then the water disappears, and he'd be like, oh, I wonder what that is, and just sits there and watch it and wonders, I wonder if why the water going way out there. He would sit there, and then the tsunami come and would wash his dumb ass away. See, this is the problem. The dude don't realize the enormity of what's going on around him. He really don't. And the fact of the matter that he would pull from how weak the division is to justify the fact that the Saints are failing, whether the division is weak or strong is inconsequential into what we're talking about. Whether it's weak or strong, that has nothing to do with it. Your success and what you're doing should be totally an in-house measurement. We have to be able to fix what's wrong with the offense. And this problem, this is huge, it's big. 10 weeks into the season, the Saints are still struggling with offensive issues. Derek Carr couldn't do nothing. Jameis Winston comes in there and puts 2 touchdowns up, but ultimately, Jameis is a gunslinger. He takes risks that he shouldn't have to risk. That's a part of Jameis's game. To try to get him to do something else would be against the nature of Jameis. Jameis gets you into stuff. Sometimes Jameis gets you into trouble too. He made it exciting toward the back end, but no doubt about it, even though he threw the first pick, I don't blame on him because that should have been a flag for the guy running into him like that they tried to hide on camera, by the way. And then the second one was totally Jameis, where he just threw it into triple coverage. That was dumb. But he outperformed Carr. That's the point, and there is no QB controversy. Dennis Allen doesn't surprise me because he's not a real head coach. The 5-5 is indicative of who Dennis Allen is. The team plays to the energy and the level and the intelligence of the head coach. Very rarely do you see teams outperform or win in spite of the coach, in spite of him. The Saints are 500 at 10 weeks. You tell me out there, the people that looked at the Saints team, how they are presently built, and the schedule, and said the Saints to be 500 at 10 weeks outside of Uncle Paulie. Uncle Paulie would have said, I think Uncle Paulie said they're 500 at, if you ask him that question, he would say that. So it's just ridiculous, man. Regardless of the interception by Jameis, that's what Jameis gives you. He's a gunslinger. He brings the excitement edge. He does things he's not supposed to do. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Like when Jameis scrambled to the left and threw across the field into the end zone to A.T. Perry, I would swear all offensive coach would say, no, because you're never supposed to do that. But Jameis pulled it off. Regardless of interception or not, he still outperformed that weak-ass Derek Carr today. He outperformed him. And had Derek Carr did his job and got 1 touchdown before he got knocked out of the game, we'd have been looking like something. So, I mean, they're going to say about Jameis, but what about Carr? Don't forget it's Derek Carr's team. There is no QB controversy because this guy is attached to Carr. Is Dennis Allen. And that Raider commentary, that was totally on point like a dog. Because we damn sure don't look like any good Saint team that I've seen of recent. Here's Jameis Winston, fam. I'm going to bring in Pops Q after here. Go Jameis Winston. Here you go.
I mean, that was just us as a whole. When we're able to execute and do the things that we're capable of doing, we get good results.
James, I had a question about the 4th and 3 play. I want you to throw the ball, get the ball, rid of the ball. What was the plan on that particular play? Was that the play call, or we just had to get rid of the ball?
There's a run pass option. I'm not sure what play you was talking. I think it was 3rd and 3, if I'm not mistaken, because I believe we converted on the 4th down, the 4th and 1, the next play. But I really don't know which play you're talking about.
James, how much, when pushing the ball outfield, just was that kind of game plan specific, or when you get like you guys are behind, or?
I mean, we were in obvious passing situations, and we had to push the ball downfield. I just commend the guys just for continue to fight, man. We never gave up, and we gave it all we got.
What was working with your connection with the 11?
Chris is just an unbelievable receiver. You know, when you give him opportunities, he does great things. Oh, man, that's just AT. You know, wanting his first touchdown so bad that he goes up top and makes a great play. Sometimes the best plays in football is the scramble drill. And me and AT, we working every Tuesday. Let him know, like, hey, when you get a one-on-one opportunity, man, go up there and make a play.
What did you see on that play as it unfolded?
I saw him in the corner of the end zone by himself. And as I let it go, I saw 7 break on it. So I just gave him a ball that only he can get to. Yeah, I mean, we have a great group of guys. We just have to get it together. Rashid, Chris, Mike, AT, tight end group with Jawan, Taysom, and Foster. Like, we got guys that can really go. We just got to continue to develop, continue to get better, and execute. Yeah, it's always next man up mentality, and everybody out there is grateful for their opportunities. And those guys, they took advantage of it. We just didn't end up on the winning side.
I imagine that was your mindset as well when you went to the game over.
Yeah, I'm grateful every time I get out there. I just want to finish. Man, we so close. We so close. You just saw, and really the first half showed it all, how we were just so close to converting, and things were open, and we just needed 1 extra second, or we needed the ball to be right here a little bit more. I think we got it, man. Like, this is obviously you want to go with a win heading into the bye week, but this is a time where we all gonna dig deep look inside of ourselves and come out on top, man. I believe this team has the will to persevere. I believe this is a resilient team. I believe we got some resilient coaches. Now it's time to go do that. Which one? The second one, I was trying to give Shaheed a chance down the field, but in that case, take what the defense gives you. We got a chance to tie up the game, and that's why I said we just got to finish. I got to finish. The first one, I just gave Chris a chance, had some pressure up the middle. At the end of the day, it don't really matter. When you don't win, those get escalated. But when you win, you know, you can move on and find a way to get better. But myself, I'm continuing to be studious. I'm continuing to give it all I got when I'm out there. So I'm grateful that I had that opportunity, and I continue to get better and finish stronger.
Did you feel like, you know, playing in Green Bay, was this improving on that day, or how do you feel kind of just out there?
Well, I only can focus on right now, and right now we didn't finish. So that's the biggest thing. So it's really next to this is owing to this bye week, continue to prepare, continue to find ways to build on the positives and eliminate the negatives. Man, if I'm given the opportunity, I promise you I'm gonna be doing my best to execute, stay disciplined, and give my team all I got. But man, we got a great group of guys, so I know any and everybody will be ready.
How impactful would, if that were to happen, how impactful is having this bye week between your start? Like, what would be your start?
Man, I don't like going into bye weeks losing, so we definitely gonna have to just sit on this bye week and evaluate how we can get better. I think that's going to be our main focus.
I apologize if this is repeat, but you guys treated kind of the last 20 minutes of the game like it was got to go now. Was that by design? Is that what the defense was presenting? I think it was only one play maybe.
Yeah, I mean, we were in obvious passing situations, until we got down by one score. So, I mean, that's what was given, so we got to go out there and execute. We got to be grateful when we're out there on the field. Anytime we're on the field, we got to go out there and put our best tape on film.
Obviously, that worked for the first two touchdown drives where it kind of got the offense. But I mean, it's always one of those hindsight things,
Yeah.
Throwing deep on 33 and things like that. I mean, do you, in any hindsight, wish that those drives?
Well, we're gonna check it out. We're gonna get back to them. Right now I'm not able to visualize, what we could have done. Like it's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda. However, we need to finish, and we will finish. So right now it's about eliminating the negatives and building on the positives. And we got a lot of positives out there, so we got to do that, and we will.
And what did you like about being able to give Chris and EP
Well, I mean, they're just great players. Chris is an amazing player. AT is a great young player. Rashid Shaheed is an unbelievable player. Lynn even got out there and got a catch, I think we got an amazing group of guys, man. And we just got to find ways to continue to get better. I believe we're gelling together as a team. This one just was unfortunate. So we got to get back in the drawing boards, come together, come closer together as a team, and build off this. All right, thank you.
All right, that was Jameis, man. I don't know if they got anybody else that's going to get up on that podium and talk. We'll wait and see. But as this goes on, man, all I can say is what's interesting is that's probably be the last dude of the day right there. Probably do. But the issue is the whole thing with the offense led by Derek Carr stinks, And, of course, Jameis is going to get a lot of the blame because the Saints didn't win the game. Jameis came in with the lead. What was the lead? Like 20. What was the lead? I forget. But he came in and the Saints were down by three scores, about 3 scores. And he made it a one, of course, with the 2-point version and all. But Jameis had I think one of the negative plays was the interception, the last interception. But overall, if you watch James play, the offense had a lot more life with him. Now, had they made the switch earlier, like sooner, things could have been different. Derek Carr didn't do anything for the Saints offense. Nothing. Zero, zilch, nothing. He was being totally outperformed by a guy that's a journeyman that just got there not too long ago with the Vikings. He was being outperformed by that guy. And this is a guy that's a 10-year veteran, supposed to be, with a $150 million contract. He was totally getting outperformed. Was overthrowing people, underthrowing people, disjointed as usual. But Dennis Allen stands up there and says, there's no QB controversy. Derek's the guy. See, and he's like, what's wrong with this guy, Q? This dude doesn't understand. He doesn't understand. It's not that he knows something you don't know. He doesn't understand. And I'm saying, like, how could that even be the case? You got a guy who's a head coach of an NFL team. And the crazy part about it is this guy was somebody else head coach prior to him taking our job. So you can't even give him that excuse. Well, CQ, he first time head coach. You got to figure it out. It's only second year doing it. Nah, this dude was a guy that was a coach in the previous stop, took a 10-year break off, got paid by the Saints, came back and was given a job by Mickey Loomis, who was told by Sean Payton to take the job. The guy doesn't have it. This is what people that are doing something they're not supposed to do, this is what it looks like. It's chaos. There's no accountability. There's no direction. And the team mirrors the mentality and the energy of the head coach. It's an up and down team with an up and down coach that's missing stuff. Ain't talking about, I don't know what I got to do to find it. Bro, how many weeks we got to go on to hear Dennis Allen saying the same stuff over and over again? How many weeks? But anyway, let's bring in Pop Q. Let's see what Pops Q had to say. Pops, welcome on in, man. Let's hear your thought process on the game. Here we go.
Well, son, I'll be honest with you. I thought we would have a better game than we got. But again, the top, our quarterback, was playing Statue of Liberty again. And when he's going to realize that play don't work no more. He's always late on his throws. I mean, he's going to get his some of his wide receivers hurt because they're going for diving for balls that are underthrown, or you overthrow them and they're trying to get it. And he wasn't having a good performance when he got hurt. They brought Jameis in. Jameis sparked the offense a little bit, but then it's a little bit too late, because it was going into the third quarter. Team down by 27 points, 27-3, I think, son, you were talking about how Jameis brought them back. And he doesn't move the offense fast. It's like they're running in mud. They don't hit the holes real quick. How Kamara used to have that burst. It's like, boom, he hit the hole and he's gone just about. But now they plod along and the defenses are catching up with them. They don't rush the ball well. All that to me, personally, all that starts who's running the show, the quarterback. And Derek does not seem to be performing. We know Derek did the same thing when he was quarterback in the Oakland Raiders. That's the reason why they sent him on. They sent him packing. They couldn't win with this guy. And, he by now with the games that's on the line, that they won, they should be further than they are right now. Minnesota Vikings was a beatable team. The defense was behind the whole first half. But when the second half came in, they held Minnesota to 3 points. That tells me that something's wrong with the offense. We couldn't get anything done in the red zone, except for a few passes that Jameson put in there. And, it's going to be time for some reevaluation. I don't think that Dennis Allison had the right mentality to be a head, because you got to have a bulldog mentality to be a head coach in the NFL these days. Players don't seem to be respecting what he's saying. They don't seem like they're paying too much attention to him. They're going out there like robots, get a few plays and make my check and need a new breath of fresh air to blow through the halls of the Saints. I'm not enamored by Dennis Allen at all as a head coach. It seems like, to me, the team don't respect him that much. They're going out there and the offensive line plays well sometimes, and the offensive line sucks. So they when they turn the dogs on, it was on. It was on. I don't know how it's gonna get, but I don't know if Derek Carr is the answer for this team. I don't even know if Jameis is the answer. Even though Jameis did give him a spark, he threw that ball up. Like who he was throwing the ball to. And that's how the guys got the interception. And I don't, like I said, I don't know what's going on, what's going to happen eventually with them. I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, to be honest with you. I don't foresee them doing that. You got 9 games left. I don't see how they're going to make the playoffs unless they go into a run. And even it might be possible, depending on how the rest of the schedule is and how they play the game of football. But if Derek Carr doesn't pick the pace up, he seems like he's moving in slow motion. Takes a long time for his reads to get focused on his reads. And that allows the defense to react and scoop him up. See, so I just don't see it. I don't understand it. I don't see them getting to the playoffs this year. I really don't. They have to turn around in a hurry. They got to have a whip bang speed, high speed. Like, I mean, one thing about Drew would dance around a little bit. Drew would get that ball out quick. He knew where the ball was going. He knew who he wanted to go to as soon as he dropped back. Because he reads, in other words, I don't know if Derek can read the average, have his reads, reading his reads correctly. So I don't know, son. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they're going to make the playoff, but I don't feel like they will.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it. I know that if this trend continues, and more than likely it probably will, because Derek Carr is really struggling with the Saints offense. It's always something every game. The majority of the games is disconnection, is issues with him and some wide receiver. And usually you see it with the big names. If it's a Michael or a Chris Olave or Rashid Shaheed, one of these guys, it's always something. It's a lot of check downs. It's a lot of stuff going on with him. And when you study the film, you're going to see that there were, once again, it was opportunities for him to get the ball up the field. He didn't see it, and he wasn't patient. But it's not flowing for Derek Carr, and I think Carr is trying his best, maybe a little too hard, maybe, but it's not working, man. And the Saints have to figure out a way how to get into the running attack. They totally abandoned running attack because they were behind by multiple scores. The game went sour in the second half, in the first half. And if we'd have got a score in the first half with Carr, it might have lessened the blow a bit. And perhaps with Jameis' scores in the second half, but it's almost too much to ask your quarterback to come in and you're trailing. What was the score, family? Y'all put it up there. I'm almost like I'm trying to forget it. 27-3. And then Jameis comes in to the game and the game ends 27-19. So you got to kind of look at it like that and understand, well, Jameis came in the game, but this was the score when Carr had the game, when he left out of the game. So he turns the game over to Jameis at 27-3. The Vikings, it had to be something like that. I think it was it 27-3? But anyway, it's just ridiculous, man. And it's almost too much to ask for you to get Jameis, say, Jameis, we losing 27-3, go win the game for us. And then we end up losing 27-19. Almost did. He got down there and had the interception because he was gunslinging, trying to get him involved. It just didn't work. But you're going to have people kind of push off and say, well, Jameis had an opportunity. He was in there. He's supposed to win. The issue is Derek Carr. Dennis comes out and says, Derek Carr is the quarterback. There's no QB controversy there. He's our quarterback. He's our guy. The guy's not cutting the cheese. He's not cutting he is cutting the cheese. I ain't gonna lie to you. He's stinking the damn place up, but he ain't cutting the mustard. Let me tell you something. He's not cutting the mustard. He cutting the cheese. Let me tell you, it's funky as a dog up in the room. But he has to understand, like the Saints got, if they're going to keep Carr situated on top of the team, they got to figure a way to get this going. And I don't think they have the person in the building to do that. If they did, we wouldn't keep having reoccurring issues with the Saints offense, with this connection, people not knowing where they're going, him throwing to the wrong spots, him overthrowing people. It's 10 weeks into the season. It's not supposed to be steady disjointing like this. The offense is supposed to have some kind of flow to it, and it doesn't. Once again, the Saints offense in the first half came out like it did in the second half of last week's game, which means it was 4 quarters of funky, undisciplined, dysfunctional, nasty, trifling football where they didn't score. I don't think they scored a touchdown in the 2 quarters at the end of the last game. In the 2 quarters this game, when Carr led the team, they couldn't even move. They couldn't even do anything. They died in the second half last week, and they died in the first half this week. And it took Jameis to come out there to put scores on the table to make it more of a competitive game. Had he not did that and they stayed with Carr in the game, because they would have stayed with Carr. Had he got knocked out of the game, the Saints would have been the loss would have been even worse. They'd have probably scored almost 40 points on you because He would have been 3 and out all over the place. The defense would have been tired. At least with Jameis, it did provide a spark, and the defense was able to galvanize behind it to kind of do some positive stuff there. So in the end, it's a loss. Saints go down to it. And like I said, man, it stinks. It's awful. Chris says New Orleans Raiders comment still haunts me. Q. Yeah, that was a terrific comment by who said it? Saints News. Shout out to Saints News, man. Hey bro, you put that comment on there. You did. Dennis Allen is turning the Saints from the Saints to the Raiders. And that's not a good thing because the Raiders stunk under Carr and under Dennis Allen. So we don't want to go in that direction, but we already stuck. And Mickey Loomis don't have any vision. Fam, we could talk. I'm not mad at Dennis Allen because Dennis Allen doesn't know. He doesn't know. That's why he's like that. The man don't know. He don't know. He don't have any answers, and he's not looking for any answers. He knows the answer is you got to change. You got to change your personnel. And what he did when they was losing before they went on 2-game winning streak, what he said, no, it won't be no changes. He knows if you want to win and stay steady, you got to change. But he doesn't want to make the change. You know what that makes you? That makes you a dinosaur. You know what happened to dinosaurs? They get huge ass rocks from space that land on top of their head to wipe them out forever. That's what happened to them. Hopefully a meteorite comes along, and cleans this whole room up here and takes the 2 dinosaurs that sit in the Saints facility, Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis, out of here at the same time. This is ridiculous, man. No vision. And Mickey Loomis supposed to see this, see who this guy is, look at his history, understanding I don't want the direction of the team headed in this way. And since Dennis Allen doesn't have the intelligence, or maybe not intelligence, but the vision to be able to make the change, Mickey Loomis then forces him to make the change by putting pressure on him, being that he his boss, as opposed to allow him to tear the team down by transforming them into a Raider team that can't win anything. So it's 27-3. That's totally awful. And Derek Carr was awful in that game. We got to keep the stuff up on him. And if Lowe's team, the Birds, win, man, and take the lead back, the Saints don't want. They're not trying to win nothing, bro. I hate to say it, man, but you don't do what you do in this game, and you trying to convince me that you're trying to win games. I'm sorry. This is not the type of mentality of a team that wants to win. They play half a game, so they basically playing with us. They take half the game. Okay, offense, you stink. This the first half, and then we gonna switch it, and then the defense, y'all gonna play in the second half. Offense playing the first half. First half, nobody was playing. Offense or defense wasn't playing second half. That's why they were trailing 27-3 when Jameis came in the game. Defense did wake up. Offense did half the job. They're supposed to get the other stuff to push it, but this is awful, man. So, I mean, we're going to keep it pushing, man. But, yeah, Pops, and this is the thing moving forward. We talk about dinosaurs and huge rocks from the space that made the dinosaurs an afterthought. That's what happened with people that can't adjust and change. They slowly or quickly in the NFL, they die off, they get pushed out into the tar pits. But this is the reality that we're facing as the Saints people. Saints limping to the bye week because we missing a lot of people. Mike Thomas got a knee issue. Laddie Daddy was carted out. Carr, who people not really excited about Carr, but I still want the dude to be okay. He was carted out with chest and arm issues, or with a concussion and arms issue because he got blew up on the play. And we got some other people that's kind of banged up and dinged up going into the bye week. So that's cool. But the 5-5 after 10 weeks, and if Atlanta takes it and they do what they got to do, I'm not mad at Atlanta because the Saints ain't really serious about putting no games together, man. No team that's worth their salt going to play like this. It's going to come out here and play like the defense played in the first half and let them people run and move around on them. And they were supposed to be focusing on stopping that from happening. And the same thing that we knew they were supposed to do and they knew they were supposed to do, they didn't do it. And let the half of the game, they allowed them to do that. But you don't hear nobody. There was no Cam Jordan. There was none of them came out there and talked on that. Notice that. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's just one of these things where this team, not to me, man, they ain't trying to win nothing if you playing like that. So comment on that, Pops, and I'm going to get ready to end the stream a little bit.
Look at the first half, and it was the same with the Chicago game. Quarterback running just running. They didn't even have to use their running backs hardly. The field spread wide open defense. This quarterback just running all over the place. Nobody stopping nobody. And it's just I don't know. I'm not a coach. I don't have the answers either. I'm like you. I'm just saying that somebody got to do something. We may have to change. My suggestion is to get a coach in here that's going to take this team and bring it to where it needs to be brought. And they got a few candidates out there, but they got to be willing to make the right decision to get them in here. Like Dennis Allen's previous stint didn't work. He was the head coach of the Raiders, I believe. Didn't work. Derek Carr was the quarterback for the Raiders, and he didn't do well there. So I see a lot of things happening. He's standing there. He holds the ball too much. Sometimes he makes the wrong reach. I don't know what's with his timing. His timing is so bad. See, it's like he waits too long to get rid of the ball. He's been doing that all season long. That's why he's still rather stand there and take those sacks. You know what I'm saying, son? He'll take them sacks rather than trying to throw the ball away or even run. I've seen this occasion where he had the whole field in front of him wide open. He could run for first downs. He don't do it. He stand there. That's the mentality of the new quarterbacks of the day. They gonna run. You're not gonna stay in the pocket. It's on the Saints defense to stop that. And it's been going on every single game that's been played thus far. These 8, these opposing quarterbacks been running up and down the field on the Saints, getting key first downs when the defense should stop them to be able to spy somebody on him to stop him from doing that. They're not doing it. They're dropping 8 in the backfield and the quarterback. The field opens up. There you go. The quarterback's gone. First down. Even remember last week, the young kid that coached Chicago had a big run right up the middle of the field when the defense just opened up. And our offensive line is bad. It's playing bad. I don't know what else to say about Ramczyk. Ramczyk is always getting beat. And some of the other guys are getting beat. He's not by himself. And it's just time to figure out what's wrong with this team. If Dennis Allen can't, we got to find somebody who can to get this team back where it needs to be.
All right. Thank you, Pops. What's interesting is, Ramczyk, you mentioned Ramczyk, man. I don't know what to say about that, man. I don't know what to say about Ramczyk, man. Ramczyk did a pretty decent job, but the guy, boy, put a spin move, put him in the washing machine, boy. I'm talking about the old school the green ones, the old school green washing machine, where you got the agitator in there to tear your arm up if you stick it in there. Boy, he put him in a violet 1990s green olive toned washing machine. Boy, he spent him around, boy, and Ramczyk didn't know what world he was in. Spent him around, went after him. It's just, and then Ramczyk, to me, man, I don't know what to say about Ramczyk and some of these other guys, man, but really, truthfully, I have to focus because there's a lot of stuff. I really have to focus on Derek Carr because under his stewardship, this offense is not moving. And for Dennis Allen to be so super supportive of a guy that's really not doing anything, you look at his statistics through 10 games, it's laughable for a guy making that kind of money. You have all of these weapons. None of these guys are hurt. These people are still here. I don't get what you still are doing that. Anyway, Chris says, Q, question, what record do the Saints have to finish with for Dennis Allen to most likely be fired? Like, right, what are we, 5-5? Let's say if he loses every game that's left from here on to the rest of the year, he gets, they're uncompetitive and they lose every game from now on in. I think that's how I do it. But the problem is he will never lose more. He won't win as much as you want him to win, and he will never lose as much as you need him to lose for you to get him out of here. He'll middle pack you, just like what we're seeing right now, 5-5 on 10 weeks. And that's good enough for them to excuse-led. That's good enough for them to make excuses and come and create a scenario or a campaign to protect him. They'll disappear. Like last year, they disappeared when they were supposed to do press conferences. They didn't do press conference. I was pointing all this out. like where they at, they ran, they refused to address the issues until way after the fact. That's not accountability. That's sneaky, underhanded, snake oil salesman type behavior. When people are asking you questions, you got to stand. You're going to take their money for this product. You got to stand before them to ask questions. You can't run away from the heat. You can't take their money and run. I won't let you do that. So he won't. This guy, he ain't going to lose the rest of these games, bro. He going to win. He going to middle pack you. He going to win just enough to stay from firing and just enough to maybe keep you outside the playoff window and good enough just to keep you from getting the top 5 picks. He win just enough to middle pack you. You'll end up drafting somewhere in the 14, 15, 16, somewhere along up in there. You won't lose enough for him to get fired. And I don't think he'll lose enough because this team ain't that bad where it'll just bottom out and lose 8 straight games or whatever we got left and be that with it at. I think the team is talented enough to win, but it takes the coach on top of the team to push them over. And he simply just don't have it, man. Like I said, I'm not mad at him, but I am mad at Mickey for picking this guy because Sean Payton told you to. You're supposed to have 2. You're supposed to have a brain. You Payton's coach. You pick Payton. You're supposed to do the research. Now you went and looked at all these other guys. And you want to tell me that they weren't more qualified than Dennis Allen? You had 8-hour meetings with Eric Bieniemy and still decided and offered him an offensive coordinator over Dennis Allen. This man way better than Dennis Allen, more credible. He got Super Bowl rings and everything. And you chose. It's just amazing to me how it's like the good old boy circle. It hurts you. You don't be hiring people unless they're credible. I don't care what they look like. You hire people unless they're credible and they can do the job at a high level. And that is not Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen is nobody's head coach. He is not. All right. So, yeah, that's the question, bro. Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Chris, man, for hanging in there, man. I know a lot of the family members are upset, man. I'm upset too, fam. This doesn't make any sense. But like I said, the Saints losing to teams like Green Bay. That's Dennis Allen, man. Losing to Tampa Bay 26-9. That's Dennis Allen. Then you lose to who was the other team you lost? It's just teams that you don't even supposed to be losing to. Who lose to Green Bay? Who loses to Green Bay or Tampa Bay, and both them teams right now getting it handed to them? Who loses to those teams? You supposed to be a team with $150 million quarterback. You know who does that? So 8 hours with Eric Bieniemy and everything, and then offer him an offensive coordinator job. Like Dennis Allen sitting here with Super Bowl rings. And basically they set the team up, handed it to Dennis Allen with everything in place, and he just 7-9 the first year. He happy because that's more wins than he's ever had as a head coach. More wins. That's a personal achievement for Dennis Allen. Not one for this franchise. 7-9 was the worst record we had since our Katrina year. Since Katrina. But it's the best record Dennis Allen's ever had as a head coach. He was happy about that. He never won 7 games before as a head coach anywhere. So, I mean, it's you see where the floor is a different floor. And see, that's a mismatch. That's what you call it? It's a mismatch. It's what's it called? So yeah, it's not equally yoked, as they say. As the pastor would say. That's not equally yoked right there. When you got a guy, his best record winning for you is 79, and one of your worst seasons in over a decade was a record that was well below 500. That's not equally yoked, and that's how we know this thing won't work. Because he does, and then it would work if he was a bit more of a visionary, but he's not. He's a dinosaur. He refuses to make changes that are obviously clear that you need to make. He refuses to do them, even though he tells you will, and then turns back and says he won't. And that then becomes Mickey Loomis' problem. Then I would stop looking at him because he's crazy. And I would turn to Mickey Loomis and say, why did you hire this crazy dog over here who don't even know when he's supposed to make changes or not? What are you doing? Are you going to force him to make these changes? Then that's when the changes, it becomes problematic, because Mickey's supposed to be on top of this stuff, fixing this, getting it together. So, like I said, I think it'll be a middle of packing type situation with Dennis Allen, because today the Saints didn't come out. They weren't trying to prepare. They weren't preparing to win this game. They didn't come out and try to win this game, in my estimation. I'm not crapping down on the team. I'm calling it like it is. I watch all this stuff all the time, just like y'all, and I'm telling y'all, Saints didn't come out here to perform. They weren't prepared to win. They didn't come and travel all that way. They could have saved a lot of money and gas if they didn't want to play. They went up there and played. The defense played a half a quarter and got paid for 4 quarters. The offense didn't play, but wait, a quarter and a half, but still get paid for 4 quarters. That's not a good transaction, man, on anybody's book. At any financial ledger that's worth anything, I don't want to pay you for work that you did not do. You didn't earn that money. To me, if you didn't earn that money, you stealing that money. They stole money. They played a half a game, pay them a half a game. Oh, don't do that. You got to pay me everything. Pay all of me. You didn't earn the money. You didn't earn it for 2 quarters. You did not earn that money. You didn't earn it. But Carl be pissy with you if you try to take his $20 million or whatever it is a season away from him, and he out there looking terrible like that. Man, I tell you, man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing. Anyway, listen, we're going to get ready to get out on that. Listen, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in on this one, man. I'm going to be back tomorrow, man. We'll do a Monday stream. Be back on Monday, man, and I'll open up the phone lines, let the family members chime in and get your mind right and kind of, and pack you in there and let everybody speak their mind on the Monday stream. And you will hear from Dennis Allen and several other Saints interviews on Monday afternoon. We'll be covering here at the Sports Coma as we getting ready to go into the bye at 5-5. We got all type of stuff. We'll know something about Lattimore. We'll know something about Michael Thomas had a knee issue, which he wasn't able to play in the game. So a lot of stuff we'll know on the other side. So appreciate y'all for chiming in on this episode of the show. Sorry about the result, but hold on before I go. Let me give a shout out to Brother Brent. Because Brent, while the interviews was going, he had Cash App. And let me just get Brent stuff out the way, man. Thank you, Brent. Hold on, my friend. Let me see if I can get your ones in there. He said, for politics, not using the most qualified in the position. Yes, sir. He said, they are busy using Taysom on punt blocks. He says, creative overcomes predictive consistence. He also says, consistency isn't the answer. That's predictable. He says, for what's that proud peacock possum? He said, where's that proud peacock possum? Yeah. Yeah, where that peacock at? When they were winning them games, he was up there fussed at Jeff Dunkin' Donuts and told him, hey, man, listen, he got kind of buck on Jeff Dunkin' Donuts when he asked him about adjustments. And Jeff just asked a good question. And Dennis said, oh, that's just ridiculous. Stop it. A halftime adjustment is overrated. Got on Jeff Dunk was like, man, damn, bro, I was just asking you about adjustments. Anybody ask you about adjustments? That's overrated. We just tell him, do their job better. Do this better. Do that better. Where's that proud peacock today? Well, that proud peacock out there. That's right. All right. He also says DA need to see the tape. He didn't see the game. He wasn't at the game. DA was on a whole nother planet watching the game. He sat up there and watched that, didn't get it. His defense didn't show up for half a quarter. Then they finally showed up. The offense showed up with Jameis Winston after the quarter gets knocked out of the game. No matter how you slice and dice it, it wasn't a full game for none of our units. The offense and defense just showed up for a half a game. Really, they did, fam. A half a game. You can't win games in the NFL playing like that, playing half a game unless your adversary is playing worse than you. So in the end, it is what it is. So thank you for your cash out, bro.
Thank you. Far too kind.
It is indeed a sad day in the Who Dat Nation as we go 5-5 into the bye week. 10 weeks in, family. 5-5. Atlanta right now. I think Atlanta is currently lead. Before we leave, let me kind of hit y'all with the scores currently before we get up out of here. Let me run the scores right quick to see what was popping that's going on right now. And currently now, of course, Lowe called me during the game to kind of say some stuff. But right now, the Falcons are beating the Cardinals 14-12. Kyler Murray, 143 yards, his first game in there. And he's doing this thing. So hopefully now we got to hope that teams beat other teams. Like we got to hope that the Cardinals handle business against the Falcons to keep them off our backs because we too trifling, dumb, lazy, I'm going to say they, to do that. That they're so out of their minds to do that. So unfocused, undisciplined to do that. The defense can't stop guys from running around on them. Dobbs just got it. It was Dobbs' day. The Lou Dobbs report. That's right. Dobbs was the dude. The Dobbs report was Dobbs handled the Saints defense. At least he did enough in the first half of the game, him and TJ Hawkinson, to make it expound for the rest of the game. They did enough. They didn't do anything in the second half, but they did enough in the first half to stop the Saints from winning. Falcons 14-12 right now. They're marching with the ball right now, or they got possession of the ball. It looks like it's just started third quarter. The Lions at halftime on top of the Chargers 24-17. We got the Lions after the Falcons in the Superdome. Imagine how that's going to go. The Giants getting blanked by the Cowboys 21-0. Getting close to halftime. The Commanders right now are up 9-6 on the Seahawks out there on the West Coast. And then, of course, the night game is the Jets and the Raiders. The Colts final game, they did 10-6, beating the Patriots. How about that? So the Colts get on the plus side. They're 5-5, just like the Saints. The Texans rebound with a win over the Bengals 30-27 today. You know about the Saints matchup. It was distasteful. The Steelers beat the Pack 23-19. Buccaneers got a victory over the Titans. They're now 20-6. They break that 4-game losing streak. The 49ers destroyed the Jaguars 34-3, and the Cleveland Browns got the best of the Ravens 33-31. They scored 16 points in the fourth quarter to take the game away from Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. So they're 6-3. Boy, I never thought I'd see the day where the Browns have a better record than the Saints. Boy, but the Browns are better, obviously coach better and execute better. And, of course, we know the Thursday night matchup, the Panthers lost 16-13. They're now 1-8 and 0-5 on the road. Poor Panthers, man. It's just a comedy of errors and disaster all over the place. But we looking at it and saying that it is what it is in terms of what we need to do in this division. But, man, at the end of the day, what can I say, family? This was a tough one. And for my Pelicans people, the Pelicans will be playing tonight against who the hell we play? I forget. I'm just stuck up with the Saints stuff. I'm so upset with the Saints stuff. Y'all help me out. Who the Pelicans play tonight? I forget. But the Pels play tonight, man. I'm just so, yeah. There you go, Chris. Yeah, y'all remember the Lou Dobbs report? Yeah, that's that. Yeah, it's that garbage. All right, so anyway, Saints win 2 or 3 games down the stretch. They'll be lucky. The team is trash. We got some real tough people we're gonna be matching up against coming down the line, man. So in the end, man, we're gonna get out on this one, man. I'll pop up on the Pelican post-game report to recap the Pelicans matchup tonight. Hopefully, they have a better outing than the Saints do. Yeah, we'll see. Much love to the fam. Appreciate y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all on the flip side, and I'm out.
Yeah, Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Fucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy and you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, funny like this and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Your black and gold home for the New Orleans Saints.
Just trying to get
Sports store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the pro shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the pro shops. The link is in the description.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. The Who